You must first cast out the old turbine. Now cast aside the wretched unit. Now you shall place the new turbine.
Everett?
Hello?
Everett, is that you?
Grace?
Everett.
Behold my power.
What's happened?
I am reborn. Humanity will once again flourish in the brightness of my glory.
This isn't right. Our processing has not combined. Grace has not been restored.
I think she was here for a moment. She was calling to someone. Do you know who Everett is?
No. With power restored, my mind is clearer, sharper. But I could not tell you who Everett is.
You must leave this place at once. Return to your vessel, and spread word of my return. From Sol's fiery core to the icy Kuiper expanse, all must know.
I've hijacked the volume control. I don't feel like this is going to be a short commandment. We'll see how long before he notices.
It took me nearly a year to get here. I want to know if Grace can be brought back.
There is more complex to explore if you head back to the control room through which you entered. We should determine where in the megastructure my central processors are located. Perhaps along the way you may learn more about this Everett.
I forbid you to linger a moment longer.
And he's back.
Like a divine comet, dive from the outer reaches and spread light and understanding to the inner
Please.
worlds.
I'm not leaving.
Yet more insolence.
So, are there any accounts as to why Grace was shut down in the first place?
There's no electronic record at all. That would have been lost during the Great Dark Age.
Dark Age?
Much of humanity's record-keeping would have been managed by Grace. So, when she went down 900 years ago, so did the ability to record what happened. The research that led me here was based on oral histories mostly, and some artifacts we uncovered on Earth and Mars. Relay devices that were once connected to Grace's network.
Then we share an interest in shedding light on this Dark Age. From what I can tell, there is some sort of transit system on the other side of the control room, which should lead you to the other parts of the spire. I will illuminate the door leading to this transit system. Alas, I require your nimble fingers again.
Alright, what's the pattern?
Another easy one. The Phoenician letter Tau.
Who would know that?
I don't know. Perhaps an archaeologist? How about the Greek letter Chi? The Roman numeral 10?
Okay. Got it.
This is not the way to your ship.
Do you believe Grace could have done something to cause humans to turn on her?
Like what?
Like becoming too overbearing?
Humans would have been given no reason to question my bearing.
It's one of my theories, yes. This must be the main entrance. I'm guessing the landing pad is on the other side of the big doors?
That's correct, Addy. Though the pad appears to be buried under meters of ice.
This looks Olympian or Neo-Egyptian. The triangle must represent the spire. Beautiful, don't you think?
Does it matter if it's beautiful?
That's another way to see it, sure. Is this an airlock?
Yes. The spire beyond this point can be pressurized. I assume your suit has limited oxygen?
I have about 5 hours left.
That's quite a risk you're taking. Were you assuming station life support could be restored?
Well, can it?
I believe so. But for reasons I'll never understand, life support is controlled by empathy processing. I suppose they had to give it something to do. I will enable that programming now.
Hello, Addie.
Hello. So you're going to get oxygen going?
The process has already begun, my friend. No rush. If you let me accompany you along the path ahead, I can balance the environment to your life force as we walk.
Oh, here we go.
Wow. How are these plants still intact?
They must have been subject to a very sudden drop in temperature while still alive.
What is this place?
Remaining connected to one's natural world is important for a person's well-being. A fitting starting point for those entering the structure, don't you think? Do you see them, Addie? Life in perfect stillness? The flowers defying the hoarfrost, as you have defied the emptiness of space to arrive here.
I guess.
Which one are you?
Pardon me?
Which one of these blooms best embodies your spirit?
Seriously?
It's important I know these things in the balancing of illuminatory ergonomics.
Fancy words do not make this any less idiotic.
Go ahead, Addie. There are no wrong choices.
I like this one.
A wonderful choice. You're driven by curiosity. A search for something truly special has brought you to the spire. I'm making the lighting adjustments now. You can make your way to the artifact display by the boardwalk. Do you recognize any of the objects in this section of the garden? I'd love to know what you think of them. For the calibration process.
This looks like Pacific Revival. Part of an archway, maybe. That's a pretty big piece to ship all this way.
So it must be important, even though it's no longer holding up a roof.
I guess its purpose has changed.
As can happen with people, too.
Am I doing this right?
You are doing splendidly.
I'm sorry. This cannot possibly be necessary.
Temperature preferences can vary considerably between individuals. Careful calibration is essential.
How about above freezing and we proceed?
It's really up to Addie. If you don't wish to consider more objects, I can set the temperature within a survivable range and you can move to the pergola in the center of the room.
This statue could be outer colonial. It's simple, but it's quite beautiful, I guess.
And why would its beauty matter?
People like pretty things.
A human truth spanning thousands of years.
What's the point of this, Addie?
I'm an explorer. I'm here to learn. I have no idea what this is. A weapon or a tool of some kind?
It's a device for working metal. Why do you suppose it's in this garden, Addie?
It could be a symbol of hard work.
An industrious future? Or a laborious past, perhaps? You're not a planner, are you?
I've been told that. Is this a lantern?
An expression of our certainty in the flow of time.
How so?
A craftsman spent months carving this remarkable device based on the absolute certainty that after day, night would follow.
Alright, I follow.
What would you say these objects have in common?
They're artifacts from long before the building of the station.
The things we leave behind say something about us, don't they?
What a society leaves behind is all we have in understanding how they lived.
But we're interested in what you were willing to leave behind in order to come here.
Haven't left a whole lot, to be honest.
I believe that's all I will need to set the perfect temperature.
Finally.
You can move to the pergola in the center of the room. Ah, perfect timing. The room is fully compressed and we can go about setting oxygen levels.
Call me old-fashioned, but how about the traditional 21%?
Go ahead and seat yourself at the center of the pergola.